on my phone because I'm talking to Dave. I don't want to get notifications and stuff. And it just dawned on me, hey, Dave's going to call any second now. Maybe we want to hear that.
Maybe you might.
Good timing. Okay, we're back to recording. Hi, everybody. We're back.
Hi, everybody. We are back. Really for fun, James Windsor Smith, he who sent you the Cerebus sketchbook, has a Facebook group called Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence. He posted a homework assignment: draw a Batman black and white cover in your style. And here's mine. And there it is. That's definitely, as Matt Dow, a Batman black and white cover as you could hope to find.
As I tweeted at Todd McFarlane, I was supposed to draw it in my style, but I don't have one, so I stole yours.
And did you hear anything back?
No. I didn't expect to, but, it's out there.
That's right. That's the important thing.
Before we get into any other questions, I got an email from Dave Philpott, who apparently has bought 50 pages of Journey artwork for between issues 2 and 14 from Bill Windsor Loeb's art representative. And he's willing to get them scanned and sent in to Bill so Bill can remaster and stuff. And he also has the number 5 cover.
Great.
So I thought I'd let you know that that it sounds like we're gonna, when we do Bill's week, we're gonna have all sorts of fun stuff.
I think so. I think it's. I had no idea exactly what kind of volume of material William Messner Loebs had produced over the years until I was talking to his assistant, Michael Jones, and it seems that Bill was in the same category that I was. It wasn't a matter of writer's block. It was a matter of holding back writer's blood. He's got notebooks and sketchbooks full of stuff that nothing was ever done with. He did have, at various times, have all of this in storage units. And I think Michael Jones is the second or third guy who has attempted to get all of this stuff in one place and figure out what's going to be done with it. I think it is one of those situations where Facebook is not exactly teacher's pet, that teacher's online pet that it has been since its creation. But certainly in situations like Bill's, I think it's a huge part of making sure that his work stays in the public eye and people can continue to discuss it and continue to find out again just how much of it there is. I'm still. I went and dug out my underground comics that I want to hit Bill with, going, were you looking at the same underground comics that I was looking at? Things like Slow Death #3 with the Rich Corbin story, How We Made It in the Real World. I think that's in Slow Death #3. Horrible Harvey's House. I want to photocopy some of Bill's 1979 panels from Abortion Stew and the Corbin panels, and sometimes Jack Jackson panels that I go. It isn't the best version of these guys, but you were definitely a top flight clone of these guys, considering the time period and considering how short a time you had been in the business at that point. Okay, Rich L. Rich was the one that sent in ideas for T-shirt design, a bit of philosophy at the end, and declaration of non-ownership. I hope your bone fragments are starting to settle into their new home. Hey, me too. It's definitely it's turned into more of a forearm thing than forearm and elbow thing than a wrist thing, but it still gets tuckered out in a hurry. I'm having to learn repeatedly. Yes, that's a very good idea for covers, but there are just too many parts to it. Look at how long it takes you to draw any of this stuff, Grandpa. And you know, when the wrist and the forearm decide, okay, that's enough for today, you're not getting a lot done. You should have the scans from Rolly sometime tonight of the two Sarah Spawn Cerebus number 2 covers that I've got on the go, and still hoping to make some good progress on that. A design. Feel free to share these with Dave. Something like Nicholas, the tourist designs of places from the phone books and of Dave's environs seem like a really good idea. The more I think about it and roll them around in my mind. I liked all of the suggestions for T-shirts. I'm not sure that T-shirts are part of our new reality. I mean, in the same sense that concerts are no longer a part of our reality, and movies are no longer a part of our reality, and plays are no longer a part of our reality. The idea behind a T-shirt as a promotional device is that people go out and mingle with lots of other people, so that on a percentage basis, and we've all had the experience of walking down the street or going to the mall or going to some mass event before March of 2020 and seeing a comic book design of something, and it's on a T-shirt, and going, wow, that really reinforces whatever that thing is for me. I mean, even though I was primarily a Neil Adams Green Lantern, Green Arrow fan, you see somebody walking down the street with a Green Arrow tunic on, and it's like, hey, I know that. Or trying to come up with a design, and I think there's of the ones that Rich sent in, there's a good few that I think would probably get a second look, which is what you're looking for with a T-shirt, to have somebody go, I thought I knew what that is, but I don't really know what that is. Can you tell me what that is on your T-shirt? And getting some promotional value out of that. I still have high hopes somewhere down the line for the approval as an authoritarian construct T-shirt, the parody of the approved by the Comics Code Authority that David Birdsong enlarged into a T-shirt. And back when I was shopping for groceries, I was always very happy to wear that one because I wasn't wearing a mask. And that's come to an end. Now, the owner of the grocery store said, sorry, sir, you have to wear a mask. And I said, do you agree with that? And he goes, no, I don't agree with that, but I don't want to be fined. And it's like, that's way, way too close to Beijing than Washington for me. We will make you do the right thing by introducing these draconian punishments so that nobody's personal opinion enters into, however informed a personal opinion enters into this, is not a factor. The only thing that's important is that we're the government and we can fine you so much money that you will do exactly what we want you to do. And it's like, if you're going to do that, I think you have to introduce that as legislation, and you've got to revisit that at least as often as Winston Churchill had to revisit his restrictions on human freedoms in England during the Blitz, during the Battle of Britain. And throughout World War II, you can't just dictatorially say, no, this is what we're doing from now on. We'll let you know if that changes. You can never trust government with that kind of power. So you can, as long as they're having to present it as legislation and say, we want this to be the rule for the next 3 months or the next 6 months, and convince all of the opposition to go along with that. But you don't want to do anything like that that's longer than like three months or 6 months, or just, oh, well, we still have no idea what this is or why it's behaving the way it is. So we'll just lock you down when we feel like locking you down, and de-lock you down a little bit whenever we feel like doing that. Okay, we're getting away from the topic here.
Well, the only thing I have to add is I actually got the approval as an authoritarian construct printed on face masks. And every now and then when I go out, I wear that mask. And people look, and then they stop and look again. And I'm like, it says what it says. You didn't read it wrong.
That's right. That's right. It's authoritarianism is a very, very wide thing. And the road to hell is always paved with good intentions, and I would never fault people who think that this is a good idea. For the sake of everyone's health, we must remove everybody's freedom of choice, freedom of assembly, freedom of expression, and this is all that you're allowed to do. I mean, David Birdsong had his Scamdemic 2020 face mask deplatformed or canceled by whatever the T-shirt outfit was that was doing it, and really without an explanation. I think I'd be very cautious about that. It's like, no, you can't call it a scamdemic because that's spreading disinformation. It's like, well, if you have actual information about COVID-19, I wish you'd share it with us, because everybody seems to have a different opinion about it in the medical profession, and they're all just trying to figure out how to stay on board so that they don't lose their jobs. And it's like, when you have forced consensus like that, it's not a democracy to me. I understand that there are other people who think it's a core element of democracy, but I really don't. But again, it's if people aren't going out to mass events, then having something on a T-shirt, it's like, well, okay, the Uber driver who delivers your pizza might see your T-shirt, but apart from that, in a given week, who's going to do it? And it is a matter of, be aware that when these things get done, the T-shirt place, the online T-shirt place, takes most of the money, the lion's share of the money, and it's still that amount of money being taken out of the Cerebus economy.
That's one of the reasons why when I send the check, I send the list of, and this is what people bought. This is, it was a magnet, or it was a shirt, or it was whatever, and this is the itty bitty little bits of the pie that they say you can have.
Right, right. It's, I mean, it is, it's one of those things where I don't want to stand in the way of that, because I'm definitely not going to do Cerebus hoodies or Cerebus fridge magnets anytime soon, and whichever one I did wouldn't be the one that you would want. So definitely, I would say, I would recommend to Rich that he go through his list of T-shirts and pitch one of them to you. And, you know, in any given month or any given fortnight, we could have a survey or something on a moment of Cerebus. What's the next one that should get added to the online store that you think you would like to have? And definitely pitch your personal favorite to Matt Dow, because if you're the only one that suggests one that month, hey, it's probably going to become the next T-shirt. And then you can just you can get one.
What I really want to do is go back and get all the Cerebus and Hell covers and do shirts of all, you know, individual shirts of individual covers, because it also is on magnets and all that stuff. And, you know, there might be somebody that wants to have a collection of all the covers in little, you know, refrigerator magnets. And I'm like, it's a really neat idea, but that involves getting Hobbs and Birdsong and Sean to, hey, who's got a good scan of this? And, you know, it's got to be a certain size. And then I put it on the site, and we sell a whole bunch of them, and then it peters down, and it's, hey, we sold a magnet this month. That's all we sold.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I mean, David Birdsong was really, really keen on this. And it was, there's only so many times that you can try and hit pay dirt with merchandising before you go. This just isn't going to happen. As David Birdsong finally decided was, let's just do comic books. It's like this is about comic books. If one of these things, and as I said to him, I'll bet you dollars to donuts that if you do have a hit T-shirt that you come up with, a T-shirt that sells as many copies as That Mark Penis did, that's just going to get you hooked. It's like you'll never go, well, okay, I had my hit piece of merchandise. I'm a happy camper now. It'll be, now I've got to do it again. And again, there's only so many hours in the day. Wouldn't you really rather do comic books than do promotion of comic?
I saw online, I think it was on Twitter, somebody had tweeted a picture of Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, and Jerry's holding a Superman action figure, like one of the very first Superman action figures back in the early 40s. And almost every single response to it was somebody saying, hey, look, Joe, we're not getting paid for this. Or, hey, look, Joe, we're not getting a dime off of this. And I'm going, you know, it's one of those, a lot of people are like, oh, it's a neat picture. And then everybody that knows Superman and Superman Sisters, like, that's one of the saddest photos in the world.
Right.
And it's, you know, it's, they could have made a lot of money off of Superman. They didn't. But, like, you know, you can make a lot of money off of Cerebus on T-shirts and action figures and stuff, but then you're not producing new work. You're merchandising the one thing that you have. And that's,
right.
I'm perfectly content to put stuff up on the TeePublic because it's minimal work for me. And, you know, once a month they send me an email saying, you know, here's your share of the profits, and I transfer it to my bank account and then write you a check and send it up. Or if it's a really small amount, it's, well, we're going to wait till next month and see if we can break double digits.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, it's just the way that works. And I can't see any real reason not to do it. Like it is, as the expression goes, for people who like that sort of thing, that's just the sort of thing that they like, which is not just whatever the T-shirt or whatever the hoodie or the fridge magnet is. It's being able to go shopping for them, to say, oh, I'm a Cerebus fan. What do they got here? And just scanning through and going, oh, that's actually pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's one of the reasons that I think Dagan is being very helpful at Waverly Press, because he's got a feel for that kind of thing. It's like, I may come up with the idea of Regency Hotel notepads, but I'm probably not going to do Regency Hotel notepads. But for Dagan, it's like, well, I want to make not just a really cool High Society hardcover, I want all of the stuff that comes with the Cerebus High Society hardcover to be really, really cool. And we're on the same page with that one. I mean, you got to be careful, because you start getting hooked on that kind of stuff where he goes, what about doing high-end High Society merchandise, like doing the sort of beer steins that you would have at in the Oak Room at the Plaza Hotel? And it's like, yeah, I can see that too, but it's like, okay, how much do those cost per unit, and what does it cost for a display box to put them in, and how many people are going to be interested in that? And one of the things I pitched to him was, how many high-end hotels are there that start with R, like the Regis Hotel or something like that? And they're hurting for money right now. If they've got a monogrammed R bathrobe that they've got in all of their rooms because it's a 5-star hotel, we're willing to buy some of your R monogrammed bathrobes if you're interested in selling them. What's a good price, kind of thing. Again, that's one of those things. I'll come up with that and I'll suggest it, but I'm not about to go online and find 5-star hotels that start with R, and where's their head office, and where's the phone number for that, or the email address for that.
And then you get that little voice in the background going, and we should ask if they only have small child sizes, so it's only Cerebus size. Because if you're a real Cerebus fan, you don't want a Regency robe, you want a Cerebus Regency robe.
3 foot tall, yes. Just because I could go back and put some bathrobes on them in High Society. We'll just retcon it so that we can drum up some sales. Okay, now we're getting seriously silly here. So we're going to move on from Rich L's t-shirt list. And where are we going next? We are going to